Hello everyone and welcome to my very first currently inked video for the month of August. And in this video, I am going to start off with the inks that I am carrying over from last month, which I think there are two of them. The first one we have Diamine Celadon Cat. I know some people find this ink very, very light, but I don't know. I'm young. I have fresh eyes. So I find it e easy enough for me to read. So it's not much of an issue. Fortunately, I say that, but the bright lighting that I have where I'm writing and doing like my day-to-day stuff probably proves my eyesight is not that great, but whatever. Let's pretend that it's great. But I just really love a light grayish blue ink. It's just a color that makes me feel quite calm. I love the chromo shading that happens in this ink. It's nice and pink, and I have it in my Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. What is this one? The Dahlia Ebeline, I think. If that's not the right name, I'll just put up the correct name on the screen. And this is with a extra fine nib. And honestly, the ink flows out of this beautifully. Like look at how that flows so nicely. It's probably because the Memento Zero Grande is such a wet writer that I love how this ink flows out of it. And look at how well that color goes. It's just perfect to me. But yeah, I have put this in some dryer writing pens and it did not go anywhere as smoothly as that. But you know, we live and we learn. The next ink I am carrying over is Tasha Ume Murasaki, and this ink, when I got a sample of it, I actually didn't really like it. I don't know what it was with maybe it was a weird sample or something, but it was really muddy looking is the best I could say. And eventually it did grow on me and I got a bottle of it and I think the bottle is better than the sample that I got. So I don't know what was up with that. With this ink, it's interesting because not only because of the shading, but I have taken pictures of this ink to send to my friends once it's dried, and it shows up as the most ugly, god awful green, like poop green color. And I'm like, I swear this color is way cooler than how it's looking in this image. I'm pretty sure Ume Murasaki means plum purple, and it really is a plum purple, including like the shading of it. They were really spot on with that. And I have it inked up in my TWSBI Eco with a medium nib, and it is the matcha color. I don't actually like matcha, but I love this color green. Green has become one of my favorite colors in the past few years, just because I love how calming it is. Especially watercolor. I used to do a lot of watercolor painting, so the range of greens in watercolor is absolutely gorgeous. And honestly, that's what made it my favorite color. You will be seeing a lot of green pens due to that. Anyway, now we're moving on to the inks that I am using for this month. And honestly, the colors aren't that exciting. Uh, I guess this month I just wanted to like tone it down, do some classic colors. And first up, we have Iroshizuku, Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo, which is a lovely kind of dark blue with a hint of green. Also, I love these bottles. They're so just like quietly elegant to me, if that makes sense. It's just a nice dark blue with a hint of green. It's a cool blue. And it sheens a bit red, but I've only seen that sheening really in big color swatches like this. I've not seen it in my writing. But yeah, it's just like a nice classic blue. And I have that inked in my Esterbrook SD in the Jurassic colorway. As I mentioned, all the greens that I have. Like, look at that. It's just absolutely gorgeous. All the different greens. There's some transparency. And it has a fine nib. Totally blanked on the name of this pen while I was writing it, so, Esterbrook, yes. Yeah, this was a pen that as soon as it came out, I was like, I need this pen immediately. I believe Skio means moonlight. Could be wrong though. All right, next up we have Wearing Ghoul: The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Now this ink, I for some reason it really likes to stick closed, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need this immediately, and no one can stop me from getting this. This is such a me ink. It's a lovely, lovely desaturated green. It has some lovely shading to it. Oops. It has some lovely shading to it. Oh, look at that. Again, it might be light for some people. I've put it in pens that are more of a dry writer, and it has not been as successful. And I put it in my Kaweco Sport in, I believe the color is Smooth Sage with a fine tip. This might be a limited edition color. I don't quite remember. And I have actually done some work on this nib so it writes wetter than it used to, because it used to be such a dry writer. It was genuinely starting to piss me off. To the point I was even considering giving it away or selling it or something. But I'm glad I fixed that. It's a cute little pen. It is one of my first fountain pens, I believe. You can kind of start to see some browns showing up. Such a lovely ink color. Such a long name, too. Oh my gosh. Such a long name for such a small little pen. And I'll be honest, whenever I see the name of this ink, I get the song Tom Sawyer by Rush stuck in my head. Look at that ink. For such a hot month, I really chose a lot of cool toned inks. Alright, next up we have a Robert Oster ink. And this one is honestly maybe a bit of an ugly color, but I kind of fell in love with it when I saw it right for the first time. I got a sample and I was like, wow, this is kind of disgusting. I love it. I need it. But it is such a nice brown, in my opinion. It's kind of like woody to me. And I have that inked up in probably one of my cheapest pens, which is from, I'm not sure if you're familiar. Oh, you might be. Which is from Muji. Yep, that Muji. I don't know if they sell it anymore. It's a bit scuffed up here. But I found that it takes the Platinum, I believe the brand is, converters, and has the similar type of nib and feed to the Platinum Preppies. And it is a 03 nib, whatever that means. Ah, no, it dribbled. That's okay. I know what this ink is. I'll just make a little, yeah. I know exactly what that ink is. But yeah, sometimes this pen can be a bit too juicy when you fill it up. But honestly, I don't really care. It is a Muji polycarbonate. Yeah, I saw this a few years ago in a store and I was kind of surprised, honestly. I think it was like $8 or something. It writes really smooth too, which is pretty shocking. I've not really had any issues with this pen other than that little dribble that occasionally happens. But like I said, whatever. I'm not. It was $8. I'm not too precious about it. I'm not upset that it's not like the most perfect thing ever. And finally, I have the Atramentis Document Sepia. And this is just something that I got because I wanted a nice waterproof brown ink. I also saw someone, I forget who, but I saw someone writing with it, and I really liked how it looked and some of the shading it had. Just a solid reddish, darker brown. Like, look at that. It's lovely. And I am an artist, so anything that is waterproof is great in my books. And I have that inked in my Jinhao 10. I've been calling it the coffee gradient. Who knows if that's the actual name or it's just brown gradient. Sometimes the Jinhao dries up, but again, it is another one of my cheap pens. So I'm not overly fussed about that. It is a fine. It's kind of funny because these two swatches look almost similar in the camera, but writing with it, they do look quite different. Maybe when they're dry, it'll show the differences better. But yeah, sometimes in order to clean the nib of this pen, I just have a paper towel or something, clean the crust off the tip, and then it's good to go. And I don't have a problem with it the rest of the time I am writing. So that's pretty good. Alright, so not a huge variety this month, also not hugely exciting colors this month, but I don't know, not feeling overly bright right now, so these are colors I like, and I know I will be writing with them, and that is what is important. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll stick around. Bye.